Hello students, this is Mr. Yao. After the activity that we had yesterday, in this lesson, we are going to look at the questions that we asked and the kind of data that we have collected to kind of talk about a bit more. So, first, the definition again. Statistics is the science of making decisions or solving problems by collecting and summarizing data. So that's why in the previous activity, you kind of summarized for each of the question what kind of answers you got. So typically, there are two types of data that you are collecting. The first type is quantitative or numerical data, and they're typically expressed using numbers. So you have seen some of the questions you got. The answers are all just numbers, nothing else. And the second type of data that you could be collecting is categorical data, and they are typically expressed using characteristics. Like, for example, the question asking about a month, well, they're not exactly numbers, but they're characteristics of, say, describing part of a birthday. So let's see. Now let's have a look at example. Decide what would be some possible answers to the following questions and what type of data they will be collecting. First one, how tall are the students in this class? So your answer could be someone is 6 foot, or someone is 5'11". Say these are some examples. Say like 4, 5, or 5'8", 5'11", 6'1". All of these. These are all the possible answers, and they're clearly all numbers. That's why that is numerical. Or you can also call it quantitative kind of data. Okay, what brand of phones do people use? Well, the popular ones, Apple, or Samsung, or Google. So they're going to be names. Clearly, they're not numbers. In that case, it is categorical. Okay, would the class rather have pizza or donut? Well, your answer is either going to be pizza or donut. So clearly, that is going to be categorical. Okay, what is the typical surface area of a submarine? Well, whatever that is, we actually don't know. But let's say it's going to be 2,000 square feet. I don't know. I'm just making things out. It's probably going to be more than that. But that, no matter what, you're going to have a number of parts. So that is going to be numerical. Next, think about a shoe. List one quantitative type of data and one categorical type of data. So let's say quantitative, it could be size of the shoe. And the categorical, it could be, say, color of the shoe or brand. Anything like that. So the size, of course, is going to be a number, and the category, I mean, color, white, blue, red, whatever it is, and brand, Nike, Adidas, whatever it is. So there you go. These are some examples about categorical and quantitative or numerical data. The next thing, the question that you ask determines the type of data that you collect and whether or not there is variability in the data collected. So in earlier grades, you learned that there is variability in a data set if not all the values in the data set are the same. So here are a few things. Statistical questions are answered by collecting data that has variability. So you are supposed to get all different answers. Non-statistical questions are answered by collecting data that does not vary. So no matter who you ask, it's going to be the same data, same answer. So if you actually try to think back about the kind of question you were asking, so the kind of question that had was, say, how many seats? How many seats in this room? I mean, if you actually count, every single person is going to count the same amount of seats. I mean, supposedly, sure, you may miss some of the seats, but technically, you're supposed to get the same answer. Or the one about 13th Amendment, that one is also going to be the same kind of answer. No matter who you ask, if actually people know, of course, if they're just guessing, you're going to get different answers. But technically, you should actually get the same answer from everyone. So now let's see some examples. Decide what type of question each one is. How many students are on the roster for this class? I mean, if we actually look at it, you have a roster and you just count how many students, clearly that is going to be non-statistical. And what is the average class size at our school? Well, even though you're like, well, average class size, if I calculate it, I only get one number. However, the question that you need to ask to be able to answer that question is all the class sizes at our school for different classes. Then you calculate the average. So that's actually going to be statistical. Next, what value for x makes the equation x plus 5 equals 7? True. If you actually solve it, x equals 2, you only get one answer. There's no other possibility, so it is going to be a non-statistical question. If you want to argue, oh, x could be 3, well, sure, but I mean, that's technically not right. Okay, what are the favorite colors of students in this class? So you actually go around and ask questions. People are going to tell you, oh, I like blue, I like red, I like green, whatever color it may be. And eventually, you can actually pick the one that appeared the most. Then that is the answer to this question. But in the process of gathering data, kind of data you are going to get is going to be different. That's why this is statistical. What color is this marker? If I hold a specific marker, you can only tell me one color. Of course, there's the possibility of someone being colorblind, but technically, if everyone is not, then we are going to get the same answer, which means this is a non-statistical question. Okay, next, look at the type of question you had. Discuss in your group how you would categorize each question and what type of data are they collecting. So if you actually look at all of your question 1, you should actually realize, so for example, this is a set of the question. On average, how many letters are in the family names for students in this class? I mean, the type of question is going to get, because when you ask, you're going to ask how many letters in your last name. So it's going to be statistical because technically they're different. And the data you're going to get is going to be numerical or quantitative. Next, the second question is, for example, this one, which month has the most birthday from the class? You're going to ask what month is your birthday? So it's going to be from January all the way to December, all possible. So it's going to be statistical question. And the type of data you're getting, they're not numbers, even though they could be expressed as numbers, but you're actually writing the words down. So that is categorical. And the third question, how many periods have there been before this math class? So if I ask all my 5th period students, they're going to answer 4 periods. They're going to give me the same answer. That's why it's non-statistical. And the type of data that's being gathered, I mean, it varies. It really depends on how they actually answer. They could write the word or they could write the number. But technically, I mean, it's going to be numerical. So there you go. That is everything about all of those questions and type of data that we were asking and gathering from the previous activity. So thank you.